The Debate at 9, presented by Amity University, powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group and NECC.
Hello and welcome. You watching The Debate with me, Shavan Sen, and my colleague Niranjan. Tonight, there are a few important questions to be asked. Can the media's right to report be curtailed? Can we stop asking questions? Two big debates lined up for you.
Arnav will be back on the show on Monday. We come to you with two big debates at 9 p.m. As the PFI tries to malign our institutions, targeting the Supreme Court and then attacking the media. Those seemingly backing PFI target, threaten and heckle Republic's crew. But will those threats stop our reportage? Not going to happen. That's debate number one. And at 10 p.m. from Mehbooba Mufti to Omar Abdullah, they all landed to meet the family of Amreen Bhatt, the TV actor who was shot dead by terrorists. But will those indulging in photo ops call out terrorists? So far they haven't. That's the Gupkar photo op debate at 10 p.m. Here are the headlines.
PFI backers target Republic crew in Kochi. Block our correspondent Ashwin as he reports on the hate slogans raised in the PFI rally.
Sometimes it may be against us, but we never oppose that. So if any such incident, as you said, has happened, we will strongly condemn that.
Blocked, intimidated and targeted, but Republic Media Network won't stop. We will continue to report and investigate the PFI and its backers.
Block Republic, attack the courts. PFI now uses the Gyanvapi matter to target the pillars of our democracy.
यहाँ आए तो अफसोस का इजहार करने के लिए, हम का इजहार करने के लिए.
The Gupkar gang lining up at the residence of Amreen Bhatt but still won't call out Pakistan-backed terror.
यासीन भट्ट को जिसको उम्र कैद मिली, उससे भी वाजपेयी जी मिले, LK अडवाणी मिले, एक डायलॉग हुआ, उससे सिचुएशन बेहतर हो गई और खून खराबा बंद हो गया. That is the only solution.
Dialogue is the only solution.
At Amreen Bhatt's residence, Mehbooba Mufti once again bats for talks with Pakistan, blames the centre for targeted killings.
Seven soldiers martyred in a fatal vehicle accident in Ladakh. 19 Jawans airlifted to Panchkula for treatment.
Ladies and gentlemen, today as Republic pursued the truth in the controversial incident of hate slogans by minors at the PFI rally, we were met with targeted intimidation. Those possibly PFI backers tried to heckle and block our reporter Ashwin. Can the media be stopped from asking questions?
Shawan, interestingly, there are more videos, in fact, that have come out, at least 2 to 3 videos more, that show how kids were used in not just one rally by the PFI or its affiliate SDPI, several rallies, and children, most of them below the age of 10. Now, if the PFI or its backers think that we will be intimidated, if they think that we will go silent on their antics, despite their legal cases, they must wake up and smell the coffee, because the Republic will report.
4 days after this shocking video went viral, Republic's crew investigating what happened at the PFI rally reached the residence of the boy.
Early today, me and my video journalist was intimidated, heckled and threatened at Palluruthi in the suburbs of Kochi by the backers of PFI while we were investigating the whereabouts of the young minor boy who had raised inflammatory slogans during the PFI rally in Alappuzha last week.
And then alleged PFI backers resorted to issuing brazen threats in police presence.
നമ്മളൊന്നിനും ഒരു ആരുടെ അടുത്തൊരു ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുണ്ടാക്കാൻ
We were heckled, threatened and intimidated. This has increased our resolve to find the truth about the PFI video which we had broken last Monday. We are here to find out what is the pattern that is emerging from these, why we have been heckled, and also to know if there is a deeper conspiracy behind using children as tools for using and saying provocative and inflammatory speeches.
Two more videos have surfaced of kids at what appears to be PFI events. So while what seems to be PFI backers threaten the media, the PFI overtly hits out at the independent judiciary of India. The PFI has accused the judiciary of not considering facts, of enabling communally motivated litigation and imputed a lack of independence. This comes at a time when the courts of India are calling out the PFI.
Kerala High Court, while hearing a petition against the Popular Front of India, that is the PFI, has clearly stated that even if a person raises slogans during a rally which are provocative in nature, the organizers of that rally are also responsible for the same.
Previously, the Kerala High Court had observed that no doubt SDPI and PFI are extremist organizations indulging in serious acts of violence. All the same, those are not banned organizations. PFI and its backers cannot stop Republic. Republic will report. Republic will expose the inconvenient reality. Let's debate.
Joining us on the debate tonight, Nupur Sharma, national spokesperson of the BJP and advocate Supreme Court Xavier Rodriguez, chief editor, Goa Chronicle, Sriram, political analyst, joining us live from Chennai, Srijit Panikar, political analyst, live from Thiruvananthapuram, Professor Manojit Mandal, political analyst, Maria Tabassum, who's a social activist and educationist, director, Medina and Global Group of Institutions in Hyderabad, Abdul Razak Khan, political analyst, live from Bengaluru, and Ehtasham Hashmi completes our panel. He's an advocate in the Supreme Court, joining us live from Bhopal. My colleague Ashwin, in fact, was targeted by the PFI not once, not twice, at least 3 times today in the course of the reporting. Will be joining us live from Kochi anytime now. Let me start with Nupur Sharma. Nupur, and I'll play the visuals full frame. Our reporter went to report, investigate on that boy. Now, you would have seen that video of this boy chanting those slogans on Monday that Ashwin broke. Let's play that video, in fact. Just show you the video to put the story in context of the boy chanting slogans against Hindus, Christians, which the PFI did not deny. This was the boy. This was the video that we broke on Monday. A boy who's less than 10 years old and whose family he was talking to. And his family confirmed to Ashwin that this boy was studying in a madrasa close by. And for the last 7 to 10 days, ever since this video has come out, the family is not to be seen there. But some of the distant relatives, neighbors spoke to Republic. We were reporting from there. This was the video. Now, in the course of our reporting, it appears it's not just one child. Let's play out the other videos. This is another video of another rally. PFI associate SDPI flag seen in the rally. That's the SDPI flags. Also in Kerala, children chanting slogans, radicalized. And there's another video. Wait a minute, watch it. Another video where there's a young girl. Young girl looks like 4 to 5 years old, chanting slogans. And can you believe it? These are children between 5 to 10 years of age who are chanting slogans against communities, against India, against governments in some cases. And it's all happening in Kerala. And let's get to the story. So what happens? Republic goes there to investigate, to report, doing our job. Let's show you the pictures of what Ashwin had to go through. Let's play out those pictures full frame, right? And here's what Ashwin had to go through. Ashwin goes there. First, he goes to the house of the boy he's reporting outside. He's told immediately, get out of here. Get out of here. If you want to save your life, get out of here, be safe. He's told channels cannot enter this area. Okay? That's Ashwin in the frame in that blue shirt. Ashwin in the blue shirt there. He's asked to get out. And soon a group gathers. And can you believe it? There's a policeman there in khaki. That's the Kerala police. Kerala police is standing there helplessly. And these goons, whoever they were, PFI backers, come to us and tell Ashwin, get out of here if you want to stay safe. And in the year 2022, Ashwin, let me go across to our panelists, to everyone. In the year 2022, we are told that Republic TV or TV channels cannot enter this area. Ashwin, what is this area? What is this area where the media cannot enter in India? Please tell us, Ashwin, you were there. First of all, are you at a safe distance? What did they tell you, Ashwin?
Definitely, Niranjan. I'm definitely hoping to be safe in Kerala. Saying that, I was reporting from Pallurthi. It's in the suburbs of Kochi, the western side of Kochi. And I was reporting from a place called as Tangal Colony. And it is definitely an area which has got large number of Muslim population. We took about 45 minutes to spot this particular house itself, because when the only cue we had was one photograph which police had shared. In fact, we did know that there is some kind of a problem over there, and we didn't think that was real. But when we went over there, what we did was we first spoke to the family off record, Niranjan, and after which we wanted to know the background of this kid, the family. What do the father do? What does the mother do? Where does this kid study from? Now, these are socially impactful, stories that we are looking at. Where has this kid got this knowledge from? The kind of, speeches that he gave, where did he get it from? Who tutored him? Now, these were the strong questions that we were trying to look for. And of course, we also broke that this was not an isolated incident. We've seen several children being used. So this was a serious social implications in the way children are being used for provocative rallies. So that is why we went over there. But soon after speaking to the family members, in a matter of time, we were intimidated, threatened. We were told no media can come over here. What kind of media can report over this? This is on this road. You cannot report. You better leave. Take your car and go off from here. And in fact, my cameraman, my video journalist, his camera was also, they tried to snatch it. In fact, my video journalist even had to tell these guys, 3-4 guys cornered him to one side, and he had to tell, you can beat me up, but I will not let go of this camera. They wanted to see the visuals, what visuals we have taken.
Yeah, we've seen the visual.
And, and that was the situation. And that is when the police, two policemen were there, they in fact suggested it's better that you leave. In fact, some of the few people, some little old people over there who had gathered in the crowd, they also suggested leave
now,
soon.
Ashwin, hold it right there, Ashwin, you be a part of the debate. No, you be a part of the debate. Now, I want you to hold at that point. Now, Nupur, in the year 2022, the police will tell Republic it's better you leave. They will not stand there, ensure that the reporter and the camera person, our video journalist, is safe. They say, please get out of here, it's not safe now. The problem is everyone has an alliance with either PFI or its associate, right? You ask the Congress, you ask Abdul Razak Khan, Congress had a secret alliance with the SDPI in the last elections in Karnataka, right? And the left will not have the courage to do anything against the PFI. And today even churches, Catholic and Protestant churches in Kerala are complaining, warning the left, but the left is not moving. I want to get Nupur and Abdul to open up the debate. Nupur, this is dangerous what's going on, and we've been talking about it. People have been killed, lynched in Kerala, and we're very worried for Ashwin, by the way. Nupur to start, and then Abdul can respond.
Good evening, Niranjan, Shaswat, and to co-panelists and also to your viewers. What do I say? There's nothing good about this evening, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're doing your job. I'm sorry you're reporting. I'm sorry you belong to a religion which actually does not, is not digestible by a certain religion. I'm sorry that you have no freedom of speech, and I'm sorry if ever you were to debate and start any kind of deliberations or discussion, you would get death threats, you would get rape threats, and you would have to hear Gustakhe Rasul ki ek hi saza, sartan se juda, sartan se juda. I'm sorry saying all of this is freedom of speech, but reporting on a matter is not.
Niranjan,
sorry,
what is BJP
giving
doing?
Death threats is a freedom of speech,
Are we
but
here to
perhaps
listen
doing your
to
job
their
is not.
stories?
I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry,
Are we here to
Niranjan.
listen to
I'm
their
very, very
stories?
sorry,
Sorry for what's
Niranjan.
happening in
That, you
Kerala.
know, and what
Sorry
I'm
for what's
actually
happening in
most,
Madhya Pradesh.
you know, what I'm,
Sorry
you
for
know,
what's
what I'm
happening
most
in Uttar
regretful.
Pradesh. Sorry
I
for
did
what's
not.
happening
I did not
in
heckle
Delhi.
that man.
Sorry for
Ask
what's
him to
happening
not
in
throw
Kashmir.
stones at me.
After
I'm speaking normally. I'm
Sorry
speaking
from
normally.
Kashmir to Kanyakumari.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. It is unfortunate
Madam, you are not here
that
to
some
say sorry.
people gathered together
Madam,
on the
your
streets in
apology is
Shaheen Bagh,
accepted.
egged
You
on
tell
by
me what is the
PFI,
government
funded
doing?
by PFI, against
What
a
is
law
the central
legislated by the
government
parliament.
doing?
I'm
Are you
sorry.
here to
This
say
is the
sorry?
kind of kangaroo justice and perhaps road justice that people
Madam,
thought was the best
you are
way
here to
to
only say
topple
sorries.
a legislated law in the parliament, which till date has not, allow me, which till date has not been stayed. I'm talking about the
Have you
CA-NRC.
ever taken
When laws are
any
legislated in the
action
parliament,
on
there's a legal
PFI?
way to go about and abrogating
You
them.
only say you
Sitting
want
on the
to ban
streets
that
and asking for the
organization,
death of the Prime
but
Minister by a
what
5-year-old
makes you or
child.
what
You know, a
stops
child
you
born is a
from
blank
taking
state.
any
What do
action
you
on
teach your
PFI?
children? That you say कि मोदी को मौत की घाट उतार देंगे. What is PFI teaching
Niranjan,
children?
No, why
How
don't
are
you-
parents allowing this? That a small child sitting atop a man is saying Christians and
Niranjan,
Hindus should
will
be
you please
killed.
allow me-
There
Yes,
should be an
Abdul,
exodus and there should be a
Nupur.
massacre of Hindus and Christians. Is this legal? Is this legal? Is this not commonly charged? Is this not something that should be taken before the courts of law, Niranjan? I'm sorry that we were born to a particular religion and that makes us being called kafirs and anything can be said or done against us. I'm
don't bring
sorry. What do I
religion
be
here, please.
sorry about? I'm sorry
I
that
want
the
him
police
to.
is unable to do its job and
Nupur,
give you protection just for doing your job.
I want you to comment on the videos that I showed you, and what has happened first. Before you make it about BJP and RSS, it's not about BJP and RSS. This is about what the PFI has done or tried to do through its backers. Its backers. I'm not saying PFI directly did it because they have this penchant for filing cases against Republic. We are doing our job. Abdul, start. Abdul will respond, and then I'll bring in PJ. Yeah.
Niranjan, first of all, let me give this disclaimer to you that I'm not speaking in support of PFI, SDPI or AIMM. I am not speaking in support of them. I condemn whatever that young kid, 10-year-old kid has said. Now, my question to the BJP is, so many people killed and always the allegations were against SDPI. Variably or invariably, the SDPI is favoring the BJP. The SDPI, PFI eats up the secular vote and the BJP is always favored. So these BJP people will not take any action. They will say sorry for Kerala, sorry for Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra. They will say sorry for Uttar Pradesh, Delhi, sorry for what's happening in Kashmir. Thank you for all the sorries. But madam, when you are in the ruling party, you have to answer what are you doing? What is the action you have taken against SDPI, PFI? Every time there is an incident, you only say that this is wrong, this is wrong. Stop bragging, stop cribbing. Tell us what action have you ever taken?
Allow me to answer this. I'll take 5 seconds.
Nupur,
Niranjan,
respond.
I'll take absolute 5 seconds.
Nupur,
Niranjan,
respond, and then I'll also bring in Savio.
The honorable, 1 second. The Honorable Supreme Court has been apprised by the Solicitor General of India. We are collating evidence. We are not going to allow a recap of what actually happened earlier. When a state banned PFI and the High Court actually, dismissed the stay on PFI. We are going to ensure a proper job done. But perhaps the right question should be asked of SDPI and PFI. PFI is actually guilty of killing Prashant Pujari, guilty of slaughtering many people of a religion that they feel is of kafirs. PFI and SDPI are funding Congress party. You know,
You
the
have
fact
not
of the
taken a
matter is,
single action.
please allow me to please finish.
Madam,
why do you speak
what
over me?
action have you
I am not
taken?
speaking over you.
Come
What
out
is
of
your
the
problem?
opposition
Stop
mode.
stone
You are the ruling
pelting.
party since 8 years.
Stop spreading verbal terrorism.
Don't
Stop
blame
killing
us.
me.
One minute, one minute,
Stop
one minute, one
killing
minute.
me. Allow
Nupur,
me
Nupur.
to breathe and
No, you
speak.
cannot
It
put
is
the
my
blame
equal
on
right as
Congress.
it is yours.
No, I'll tell you.
This is not the
What
way.
is your government doing?
This is not the way.
Why don't you
We are
take
taking.
action?
We will
Shawan,
take
what's
all
stopping you
action.
from
Okay,
taking
okay.
We will take
Nupur, Nupur,
all
1 minute.
action.
Nupur, 1 minute.
Promise me. Promise me on this show, Niranjan.
Yes.
Niranjan,
Tell
one
it openly
second.
to
One
the
second,
nation
Niranjan.
that
One line, I'll
you
be
want
quiet.
political gain.
Promise us.
Tell the
Promise
nation
us.
you want
Promise us,
political
Mr.
benefit.
Abdul. When
Tell
we
the
take
people you
action,
don't want
you
to
will
take
not
action.
peddle a narrative of a
You
Darawa
want
Musalman.
incidents like
You
this
will
to
not say
happen.
you are being targeted. You will allow the law to take its course because that's what the constitution was framed for,
want them
to
to
ensure
target
that
Hindus.
any kind of illegality is nipped in its
can I just
bud.
bring in- Nupur,
Please,
Nupur, you
please
made your
promise
point.
us
Like
that
this to
when we
happen.
start taking action,
Nupur,
when
you
the
made
government
your-
start taking action, you will not come up with a narrative.
Nupur and Abdul Razak, you all have made your points. You all have made your points. Let's just open up the debate and also bring in others right now. Savio, at the heart of this issue is the activities of the Popular Front of India, which has basically come under the scanner. Not just one agency, multiple agencies. Multiple dossiers have been sent out. The Assam government has sent a dossier to the centre. The National Investigation Agency has looked into the role of the PFI in multiple cases, and they have certainly come under the scanner. The question that one needs to also ask is that how long perhaps that the government would take to come to a conclusion about the activities of PFI, dubbing it anti-national activities, and more importantly, this is going to continue unless some sort of a hard action is actually taken.
You know, the most important thing, Shavan, that we need to understand, and that's so very well elucidated in a study conducted by the European Foundation of Foreign Studies about 2-3 years back, where they actually map out the role of madrasas in identifying children between the age of 8 to 12. Even UNODC, that's the United Nations Office of Drugs and Crimes, when they did a study on ISIS, they found 254 events, and 38% of the images used in those events, terror-related events, were of children in acts of violence. So today, when PFI, in the last couple of incidents that you have seen and that you have exposed, utilizes children, there's a clear link between PFI's strategy, similar to an ISIS or an Al-Qaeda, and several other information that has come out over the last couple of years certainly brings PFI under a questionable link with certain activities that they are doing. And therefore, it is important for the Indian government, and I know that they are currently working to understand the intricate links of PFI, especially with organizations in Turkey and Saudi Arabia, and also the Middle East. So we need to look at the pattern towards bringing children, and that's the problem in this entire thing. The inclusion of children into acts, what could be considered to be harmful acts. And this kind of indoctrination happens at a madrasa level. And when I mean madrasas, I mean some of them. I'm not referring to all of them. And this is a pattern that was seen in other parts of the Middle East that world organizations, global intelligence organizations have been talking about. So PFI is working on a similar pattern. Therefore, it's necessary to ensure that the ban on PFI is a legitimate, strong ban, because they did it with the other organization that was there and it came back. So PFI has to be eradicated. But in order to eradicate PFI, it's the ideology that needs to be worked on. So Muslims in the Muslims community, the Indian Muslims,
talking
need to
about
work
the ideology
on understanding radicalization.
Saab, you're talking about
even
the ideology.
Even the Middle East organizations are working.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point, and that's exactly what Ashwin was also trying to investigate. When you have children being brought into rallies where provocative speeches are essentially made, and some would say these are very spontaneous speeches. Can you really believe that this could be a spontaneous speech? And then the usual tactic that is basically employed by the Popular Front of India, that is to distance itself from those very rallies. But Maria Tabassum, it's very clear. This is what the Kerala High Court had to say in May, where they said that, where the court essentially observed that the PFI was an extremist organization indulging in serious acts of violence. Let's not forget what the Jharkhand government back in 2019 did in terms of documenting certain evidences against the organization, But today, as Savio was also pointing out, you are looking at a situation where children are being brought into these rallies, provocative statements are being made. What are you to make of it?
So I have not interrupted anyone. And now when I speak, please 2 minutes, don't interrupt me. So the first thing is getting children into rallies, and that too allowing such rallies. It's really unthinkable. I don't know how this is happening, that children are being involved in such rallies, and such rallies are openly being taken out, not only by PFI, but also such meetings are being held by right extremists of Hindus group, like there's the Bajrang Dal or RSS. I think all these organizations should be banned. Not only these organizations, but any political party which tries to communalize issues, which always talks about Mandir Masjid, those political parties also should be banned, is what I think in India. No political party should be allowed to talk about any religion. No political party should allowed to be talk about Masjid, Mandir, whichever party it is, it should be banned. Like here in Telangana, we have seen that the BJP president, Mr. Bandi Sanjay, recently he said that if we demolish all the masjids, then we are going to find Shivlingas below every masjid. So I wonder, did your media house try to approach Mr. Bandi Sanjay, or you don't know where he stays?
No, if you watch Republic, you'll know that we reported on it. If you watch Republic, you'll know we reported on it.
All the Muslims.
If you watch Republic,
we
reported on it.
Republic interview Mr. Bandi Sanjay. Do you have the courage to call him here and ask
him? We reported on it.
Here and ask him?
No, we reported on it.
Because he below every mandir.
No, by that logic, no, Maria. By that logic, even if you say that all parties should not talk about religion, they should be banned, then AIMIM will be banned first. AIMIM will be banned first.
AIMIM ban BJP first.
No, then all parties will be banned in India. One minute.
All the parties.
No, this debate is not about that, Tabassum. Maria, this debate is not about that. This debate is about the radicalization of kids. You heard. Maria,
the party in power.
Maria, see, if Bajrang Dal gives arms training, they're wrong. If Bajrang Dal gives arms training, they are wrong. Okay? Now, if PFI is radicalizing kids, they are wrong. You can't justify that. But
who is justifying? That's what I'm telling. Ban all these parties.
Even AIMIM is wrong.
These, institutions
Their
which are
chief is
instilling
only
hatred and violence
politicizing
among
every
students.
issue.
I'm getting Srijitin. Srijit.
Because for you,
but truth is, Maria, truth is all political parties, I'll tell you something, Maria. I'll tell you something. All political parties flirt. All
of them are same.
All political parties flirt with, let me tell you something. All political parties flirt with organizations like SDPI and PFI. That is the truth. Because they need such groups to polarize. Right or wrong, Srijit? Right or wrong?
Absolutely.
We heard that PFI would have been banned. We were told we were actually given a date that PFI will be banned on this date or this day. Hasn't happened yet.
Correct, Naranjan, first of all, I hope and pray that my good friend Ashwini is safe. And I don't think, any kind of heckling, manhandling, threatening, or willful attempt at disrupting a journalist like him from doing his duty befits the status of any responsible organization. This is atrocious and an attack against press freedom. And I have not seen other media houses shouting against the lack of press freedom that they face from these political outfits. Now, does the state bother? That's a question that is to be asked. The man wearing khaki in the video that you just played is not a policeman. He's the state government itself. He's a symbolic representation of the Kerala state government, which shows an indifferent and stolid attitude against such attacks. Because why I tell you this is because I think the Kerala High Court today censured the state rightfully, because the state does not seem to be bothered in tracing that minor boy. And he shouted communal slogans during that PFI rally. The state hasn't identified the boy, nor has it pressed any charges against him. Nothing prevents the government from doing that. The state hasn't even identified the people caught on camera who were repeating the slogans after the boy. And these are a group of people who openly ask Hindus and Christians in this state to procure materials like rice flakes and the puffed rice and everything needed for performing their last rites of two communities. And these slogans are shouted by a 9-year-old child. Now, these are offenses that can attract charges under various sections of the IPC, including 153A, 295A, 298. All these cumulative can go to get them a sentence more than 7 years. Now, on top of that, for a state that speaks very highly of its child welfare schemes, Why is there no action to find this boy and send him to a juvenile correction facility? Everybody, people belonging to every political outfit within the LDF has been saying that this is a minor boy and therefore no charges can be pressed against him. But it is common sense that a boy of this age would not contrive a plot all by himself to propagate such communal and venomous slogans that are unheard of in the past, which makes it very evident that there are hidden faces behind that boy. There are people lying behind that boy, hiding behind that boy. The state seems to be hesitant in unmasking them. So it is unfortunate that the High Court had to enlighten the state government today of elementary lessons on how to carry out an investigation. We can see,
This essentially demands a thorough investigation. But as Ashwin was pointing out, that one needs to find out what was really behind this, who was really backing. When a journalist essentially does the job, Monojit Mandal, the problem here is that you will not let that happen. You will actually, in today's time, you will prevent a reporter from going to that very place to find out what's the truth. And look at this situation where a child is actually being radicalized. There is no action that has been taken as yet.
Shavan, one very important point.
Go ahead, make your point, and then I want Monojit to come in also.
Shavan, it is worthy of mentioning here that a 7-time MLA who opposes the left government in rule was arrested quite dramatically a few days ago for making a controversial speech. The state had objected to his bail application today, but the High Court did not entertain that and gave him the bail. So the same rigor that the state government showed against him was not seen in taking actions against PFI, and that reveals hypocrisy, political hypocrisy quite clearly. Now, it is nothing but minority appeasement. There is an election, a bypoll in Trikakara constituency is around the corner, and therefore these people are playing the minority.
No, but it's very dangerous minority appeasement. See,
absolutely,
I want to get in Manojit here. No, it is dangerous minority appeasement.
Representative of the indifference attitude of the state.
You know,
that policeman was actually representative
of the
indifference stolid attitude of the state.
Yeah, I'll tell you who's complained. Okay, I'll tell you who's complained about the PFI so far. There is a Sufi association. There are churches, Manojit. There are Catholic churches. There are Protestant groups that are complaining about the PFI. They're really worried with what's going on.
Yes,
Manojit. But all sides, minority appeasement is happening, and this is what minority appeasement will lead to.
We have been. No, if there is minoritism in this country, there is also the other side of that, that is majoritarianism. I think both the narratives are happening at the same time. And in fact, let me tell you that as I condemn this particular incident where the children are being dragged into such rallies, in fact, children should be kept out of any political rallies. That's law in this land. And if this has happened, the video is really, true. I think it's a chilling image of how the children is being abused by this particular group, and they must be immediately not just banned. The perpetrators must be brought to justice. However, having said that, I mean, look at the larger context. What is happening in this country for the last, 1 or 2 decades is two sides of what you can possibly be called religious nationalism. Okay, the nationalism, that's hovers around particular religion, almost returning to a kind of distorted version of primordialism. I mean, you cannot also discount, as one of the panelists were trying to suggest, very many responsible political leaders from either sides are making this kind of comments. What about that? And you have to take action against them as well. Make no mistake about this. If this continues to happen, I mean, the children are being used as shield. It's one particular narrative that is triggering the retaliatory kind of narrative in this country. I think both must be stopped. Law cannot alone stop these narratives to happen. You have to be responsible citizens, responsible political leaders to stop this. I mean, again I repeat, if this continue, what you know as deep sense of nationalism, you cannot possibly revive that sense of nationalism in contemporary
Professor
times.
Mandal,
we have come a long way.
Let me get Nupur to respond. Let me get Nupur to respond, and then I'll come to Sriram also.
Trying to impose this different kind of narrative.
Professor Mandal, you've made your point. You've made your point. Nupur, respond. Now there is a larger picture. Professor Mandal is essentially indicating that there is a larger picture, both sides. calling both sides basically extremist organizations that needs to be
I
banned.
agree.
Nupur, why
One
don't you
second.
respond?
Allow me. I agree to the extent when Professor Mondal says that religious parties who are especially using children as shields and using children to promote religious hatred is concerned, they ought to be banned, be it anybody, or any kind of biasness or any kind of policies that they mete out or they actually employ when they are especially in power or in service in the government, they should be banned. However, why only, allow me please, Mr. Professor Mondal, let's speak entirely on facts. However, I disagree. Why only 1 or 2 decades?
No, I'm not
Let's go
speaking,
back
madam.
thousands of decades.
No, I'm not speaking.
In 1965, allow me please, please allow me, please Abdul, sorry Professor Mondal, Abdul please, heckling is not the way to debate. However, Professor Mondal, how about we go back thousands of years? In 1965, the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Sucheta Kriplani, a congresswoman, had actually issued an official gazette which said the first time that the Vishwanath Mandir was actually destroyed was in 1033. On page number 40, 52, 57, it actually goes on to give details as to how repeatedly that mandir was destroyed and then there was a mosque built over it. So why are you only speaking about what has happened in the past 2 decades? Let's speak about how religious hatred has led to 40,000 plus. Allow me, it's an overall question, but you also made this statement, Professor Mondal. Abdul, why don't you allow me to speak to Professor Mondal? What is your problem? What's got your goat? I'm speaking to Professor Mondal. He can speak for himself. No, I'm sure Professor Mondal, you can speak because he's a learned person. He's a learned person. He doesn't need you. He doesn't need somebody who's actually siding with PFI and SDPI. Let's not forget the blood money which was given by SDPI to Congress party to help a candidate in Gujarat elections in 2017. Can we forget how a professor's hands were chopped just because he actually authored a question paper and examination? Can we forget how congressmen, a fisheries minister, agriculture fisheries minister in the erstwhile Congress government in Karnataka shared the stage with the prime accuser Prashant Pujari murder case? Why was Prashant Pujari murdered? But just because he was an anti-cow slaughter activist? I mean, how do we allow this? And yet in a separate state, the Honorable High Court found it fit enough to lift the ban on PFI. I'm sure, and I have full faith in the Solicitor General, that when he is speaking about collating enough evidence to ban PFI India-wide, it will be done. But what we need is sane voices to come front. Why do we only look at history 2 decades back? Let's look at history in toto. Let's look at the 1965 gazetted notification by Mr. Chitrapati,
because your intervention was aimed at Manojit.
We need to undo historical injustices.
Because your intervention was aimed at Manojit, I'll let Manojit make a response in 30 seconds and then I'll bring in Sriram. Sriram hasn't spoken. Manojit.
I'll respond. Yes. No. Yeah, I mean, the Honorable BJP spokesperson, I definitely agree that when the Muslim came to this country, certain temples were, razed down. This has happened. This is history. But how do you judge history from this point of view, from contemporary point of view? Do we go back to that to bring that sense of nationalism which happened maybe, 500, 600, 700 years ago? In that case, how can you gloss over 200 years of British rule? The language that you are speaking is not ours. Can you go back to that level? Can you go back to 1820s, 1830s when Macaulay came and imposed this language just to get rid of all the indigenous languages? This cannot happen. You have to acknowledge that both are histories. If some certain temples were destroyed by certain Muslim rulers, if that was history, you cannot go back to that era. It's not simply possible. You have to accept that as history, maybe shameful part.
No, 1
second.
I don't want to talk. It's not a debate about.
Was also a shameful.
No, this is not a debate about. This is not a debate about. Okay, this is not a debate about. This is not a debate about. This is not a debate about history, Gyanvapi, Qutub Minar, Mangaluru, Taj Mahal.
Yes.
5 seconds.
1 minute. This is about PFI.
Precisely, you are trying to.
We've had 30 debates.
How can you return to that?
We've had 30 debates. Okay.
Primordial nationalism.
Okay, I'm giving you 10 seconds, but then I want to get Sriram in. 10 seconds. 10 seconds and Sriram comes in.
Nationalism has evolved in the last 100 years
yes, please,
or so.
Yes, please.
But 10.
Yes, please.
And
Professor Mondal,
what a shit moment.
Professor Mondal, just 1 second. Professor Mondal, please allow me.
A new chapter in the history of India.
Well, please allow me, Niranjan. I'll take 5 seconds, no more. Professor Mandal, realistically, even yesterday was in history. So when you speak about 10, 20 years or 1 or 2 decades ago, even that is in history. You can't be selective about your knowledge and perhaps exposure of the history to the pupils at large, to the countrymen at large. Sorry, you can't be myopic about what has made this country, what has actually gone into a freedom struggle.
Nupur, let me tell you something, Nupur. 1 minute, your 5 seconds is done. Your 5 seconds is done. Okay, 5 seconds over. 5 seconds over. I'll bring you back, not right now, but I want to go. Sriram, look at this, Sriram. Sriram, I want to make a couple of points and I'm handing it to you, okay? Shravan has already mentioned what the Kerala High Court has said. The Kerala High Court in a judgment has observed saying PFI is an extremist organization indulging in serious acts of violence. There are cases of lynching. There are videos to show how PFI men dragged, tracked, lynched. There are videos, several videos, CCTV videos from Kerala, right? The Kerala High Court has now spoken about this PFI rally where children are seen saying, if a member of a rally raises provocative slogans, the person who organized the rally is also responsible. And then you have the NIA that calls for a ban on PFI in 2017, submits a detailed report. 2017, Sriram, 2017, 2022. Okay. Jharkhand is banned it. 2019. Assam government has sent a dossier to the government of India for a PFI ban. Now, I want to know, and many states are asking for a ban. Now, this debate will go on and on and on. I don't know how long it's going to take, but PFI is not banned. Right? What do you think is happening?
Yeah. So, Niranjan, good evening to both of you all. If I'm not wrong, Mr. Mandal is from TMC, and if so, I let him not forget his leader, Mamata Banerjee, did not wanted people to shout Jai Shri Ram. So if he is going to be so secular, and I guess he did not teach us being secular because his leader is not a secular person who was against Jai Shri Ram slogan. Having said that, let me tell you, this PFI is definitely an old wine in a new bottle. I need to respond to him, this person. This is definitely an old wine in a new bottle. And Kerala is definitely staring a very real threat, which we all have to take into consideration. And definitely things have to be taken under control, because minorities or the so-called Hindus will face what Hindus or the Pandits faced in Kerala, in Kashmir, and I'm sure that will happen in Kerala going forward if we are not able to take these things in hand in our control. And definitely the center should look into it ASAP and ensure PFI is banned in the interest of the state as well as the country at large.
Yeah, short, but I think you want to respond to him, Manojit? You want to respond to him?
Can I respond?
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
No. First of all, definitely, my connections with. No, I'm not representing the party formally, though my connections with the party I think are quite obvious. But your idea of Jai Shri Ram, that's your distorted version of Hinduism, which we oppose, including Mamata Banerjee. Jai Shri Ram cannot be a war cry. Jai Shri Ram cannot be a cry or cannot be a battle cry for torturing people. You greet us. I mean, I will say Jai Shri Ram 1,000 times. I have no comment saying that. But to use this as to insult a person, to tease a person, Mamata Banerjee was.
But how is Jai Shri Ram an insult?
How is Jai Shri Ram
an insult, Manojit?
You are referring to.
But Manojit, how is Jai Shri Ram an insult?
When you are saying from behind, I'll tell you that.
Ranjan,
think about
can I
the
come in?
context. And I think we have debates on this. When you are saying this to Mamata Di from behind without showing your face, I mean, go and tell Mamata.
No, but you have options.
Namaskar, Jai Shri Ram. As
Professor Mandal, we are just deviating. The issue here is about Professor Mandal.
Like a jumping on her
Professor Mandal, with due respect.
That is not.
Professor Mandal, with due respect.
That is not salutation. I tell you.
Professor Mandal,
remember those videos, right? I mean, say to her. And in the Victoria
Mandal, with due respect, why are we deviating?
Professor Mandal, can I make a point?
On 23rd January. No.
Can I make a point on the topic on PFI, please?
Professor Mandal, you made your point. Let's not deviate. Let's not deviate from the core issue here. Professor Mandal, let's not debate. Let me bring in Savio right now. Let me bring in Savio. Savio, you've already heard the points that Niranjan has made. Professor Mandal, I'll come back to you. You're deviating from the topic right now. Professor Mandal, the question here is about the activities of the Popular Front of India. Their activities have been well documented. Niranjan has already pointed that out. Several states have called for a ban. And Savio, we've already seen the kind of acts, the brazen acts that have taken place, the kind of... Professor Mandal, just allow me to just make the point and give a chance to Savio, and then I'll come back to you. Savio, the point here is that it comes back to the same issue again and again. We've been seeing this happening almost in every state, be it in Karnataka. We saw what really happened after the Ayodhya verdict coming in. Almost every pillar of our democracy has been attacked.
Shravan,
All right.
Shravan, I would like to
let me put it as plainly
make
as
a comment.
possible, Shravan. The PFI...
Ashwin,
Ashwin,
I'll just come in. Let Savio just make his point and then I'll come back to you.
And it is important. The PFI is a dangerous organization.
Savio, make your point.
The PFI has several links with terror organizations that have been coming about. Now we need to understand that it's important for the government, and I think the government is working to ensure that PFI is banned. But the point is this. What Muslims in India need to understand, and Indian Muslims need to understand, that when indoctrination of your children is happening, if your children are being indoctrinated to hate, there is a serious concern in the community. We love you as Indians, but today when a child who's about 5 or 9 years of age comes out and makes provocative statements against Christian and Hindus, my brothers and sisters, you guys are indoctrinating hate, and that is dangerous for the country. We need to understand that whether PFI gets banned or not is up to the government, and the government will ban it.
Can I come in here?
The point is this.
Savio, I want to bring in Ashwin. Abdul, I'll let you speak. But I just want to bring in Ashwin. Ashwin want to make a point, and I want to go to Maria also. Maria is an educationist. I want to ask her a question about these madrasas. And some madrasas, I'm not saying all madrasas, I'm saying some madrasas. It's extremely critical, we talk about it, but Ashwin wanted to come in. Ashwin, Abdul, wait.
Yes, sir.
I'll come to you.
Niranjan,
Ashwin. Ashwin.
Niranjan, as someone who has been at the receiving end of this injustice, and violence, I'm appalled that some of the people in the panelists have stated that what is BJP not doing? But what they didn't ask is, who's the Home Minister of Kerala? Is it not Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan? Who is the representative of people of Kerala? There are 19 Congress MPs in Kerala. Did they speak about it? They didn't. There are 99 left MLAs in Kerala. Did they speak about it? They did not. A person who's supposed to be protecting,
limited to one state.
Person who's supposed to protect me, a police was just standing frozen over there. It really felt like felt like I was the sadhu of Palgar. It really felt that is a moment when we see a police frozen over there and people stand, and there are people all around me. You know, I just felt that this could be the moment of the Palgar Sadhu as well. This could have been. It was a frozen policeman standing right next to me.
No, Abdur.
And I was at the receiving end of this violence.
Abdur is not funny. It's not funny.
My crew was at the receiving end. It is appalling. It is appalling. It is appalling that. It is appalling that.
Sir, Kerala is not a separate country.
Exactly his point. Exactly his point.
Part of India.
Exactly his point. What is Ashwin saying? What is Ashwin saying? What is Ashwin saying?
Why don't you question RSS?
What Ashwin
Why don't
is?
you question BJP?
That is the problem.
Government.
Abdul, what was his question? Don't deviate. What did he say? What was his question? His question was, why aren't left? Wait.
Why is that question coming on Congress?
Oh God, why are you so touchy? Why are you so touchy? No, why are you so touchy about Congress? No, why are you so touchy about Congress? Because SDP is close to Congress? Then, because elections are coming up in Karnataka, that's why, is it?
Bring in guns and...
No, you want their support in Karnataka elections, you can take it openly. Take the elections and take the support of SDPI openly, no? Is that why you don't want...
Please, let us not be political.
Abdul, that's what I'm saying. Don't deviate.
On basis, what exactly is happening?
Don't deviate.
One side is RSS.
1 minute. Yeah.
Will you condemn RSS?
I'll bring in Sriram.
Will you condemn RSS on the same line?
Why should anybody condemn? What has RSS done? What has RSS done? What has RSS done? What is your problem with RSS?
What have they not done?
What is your problem with RSS?
What have they not done?
Say it on the debate. Let Nupur respond. Let Sriram respond.
Coming from RSS.
What is your problem? Okay,
from
Maria
RSS
speaking. Let
people.
Maria speak. Let Maria speak. Wait. You're hijacking the debate. Let Maria speak. Let Maria speak.
Let me talk about facts.
Yeah, let Maria
Let me
speak.
talk about facts.
Maria will speak and Sriram will respond.
Okay. So you just told what did RSS do, right? RSS, there is one Mahanagar Pramukh called Kundan Chandrawat, and in Ujjain, he said, just like we sent 2,000 of Muslims to the graveyard for killing 56 of our people. We want Vijayan's head. That is what he said. It's recorded. If you can go and check back, right? So this is a RSS Pramukh. And what should we do? We should make him the next prime minister or what? Should we make him I think he will become the next prime minister if he goes at this speed. So I just want to understand why this hypocrisy. Okay, ban PFI, ban RSS also.
That was a comment that was made. I have the facts with me. That was a comment that was made by an ex-RSS man. An ex-RSS man. Okay? I have the facts with me. 1 minute.
He was the Pramukh that time.
1 minute. I have
RSS.
the facts. You want the facts, right? I'll read because you asked me, I'll read out the facts. First of all, this is an incident from 2017. 2017. His name is Kundan Chandrawat, and the Ujjain police booked the former RSS man Kundan Chandrawat for his 1 crore bounty remark to anyone who cut off Pinarayi Vijayan's head, which is a condemnable remark. Nobody can make such a remark. Okay? Nobody is defending such a remark.
Wasn't he holding a position with RSS?
No. Maria should not forget
Sriram
what AM Oasis brother said. Give us 10 minutes time and we'll clear Hindus in Hyderabad. Was it a great heroic statement or what was that? Was that a very secular statement? Was that very, very patriotic statement? When you said, give us 10 minutes time and we'll clear off Hindus in Hyderabad. What statement was that?
Let the court decide all those matters. And I'm sure, like you said, Kundan, on him the action was taken. I'm sure that if another Muslim leader like Owaisi or
Nobody
anybody
didn't come to the point. Maria, my question was on... Maria, my question, what was my question on? I began by saying that we need to take a stand on the radicalization of children. Now, you're an educationist. Let me bring Nupur on the other side. Now, you tell us, should the community also condemn this? Because, when it comes to PFI, SDPI, not everyone comes out in the open and takes a clear stand. Not everyone. But you think as a community, you must take a stand about such incidents?
About all our children, whether it is from any community. We have students studying with us from all the communities. And I'm equally concerned about children from all the communities whose these political parties are trying to radicalize. Okay?
Please, can I please answer this? Can I please answer this?
First. So I'm
Niranjan,
patiently listening to you, Ms. Nupur.
Thanks for fact checking. If Niranjan, first and foremost, all I want to say is thank you for fact checking her. If she was factually correct, then she should have gone ahead and filed the case. Why didn't she? Fact is, anybody who's taking the law in his or her hands should be booked. But at least RSS does not keep a shield in the form of children who are perhaps furthering somebody's very vague and very disastrous and dangerous agenda of promoting religious hatred. That's the whole point. Please stop equating two unequals. It is not going to happen. PFI, SDPI has been found neck deep in actually sponsoring and engaging in rather actively in terrorist and in fact religious hatred activities. So much so that even courts have observed that SIMI is nothing, that PFI and all these are nothing but a resurrected form of the banned SIMI. This is something which has been noted in the Kerala.
Okay, on that note,
what I'm trying to say is two wrongs obviously don't make a right.
Yeah, they don't.
Here it is important.
They don't.
Here it is important that we teach our children the right things.
Yeah.
We don't teach, the parents need to be answerable here.
No, on that note, I have to end the debate. Have to end the debate.
Instead of fact checking, I have been issued with death threats. Allow me, Niranjan. Instead of being fact checked in a civil debate, I am being bombarded with rape and death threats by the usual suspects. Tell me if that should be allowed in a civil society.
Absolutely.
Okay, nobody should allow that. Nobody will allow that. On that note, Nupur, Savio, Sriram, Srijit, Manojit, Maria, Abdul Razak, and Ashwin, stay safe, my friend. Stay safe. Wherever you are, stay safe. Thank you very much for joining us on the debate. Reminder that Arnab is back on Monday and he will be back at 9 p.m. on the debate. Stay tuned. Aishwarya is coming up next.
Enroll in any of